Hi, my name is Rich Harrington, and welcome to another edition of Understanding Adobe Photoshop. This week, we're going to continue making advanced selections using a very simple technique. We'll take the channel details to create an accurate selection of our image. And this will work very well if your subject is on a fairly solid color like a sky, a night background, or maybe a wall, photography paper, things like that. So if you have them over a pretty even color, this is pretty easy to do. Let's see how. So I've got a photo here of a palm tree shot at night with a flash on a fairly dark sky. I believe somewhere over here to the left is a Perkins. And let's go ahead to the channels palette here and just take a look at our three channels. Now this is a red, green, blue image. I'll go to palette options and I'm going to make the thumbnails just a little bit bigger, easier to see. And what I see here is that the red, green, and blue channels all contain different amounts of detail. Now the blue channel does not have good separation with the leaves and the night sky. The green channel, on the other hand, is pretty good, and the red channel is also pretty good. I think green was slightly better. So we'll go ahead and right-click on the green channel and duplicate that, and we'll call it Selection. And click OK. We now select our selection channel, and we can go ahead and turn our other channels off, because what we want to do now is create a levels adjustment to make a nice high contrast black and white file. I'll go ahead and press Command L for levels, Control L on a PC, and we push the black and then pull the white in to take all of those areas that are gray and force them to white. There we go. You see we get a nice clean separation. We can move the middle slider as needed to refine that edge just a bit. Click OK. We've got our selection. Command click its thumbnail or Control click on a PC to load it. Turn on the RGB channels. Select them. Switch over to layers where you can make this a layer and add a layer mask. Notice the layer mask deletes away the background, but it's non-destructive. A simple shift click restores it. And what's cool is you could select this and move the middle slider here to refine the mask, letting you play with the edges there, choking them in or threading them out just a little bit. What's also nice is you could run a very gentle Gaussian blur on that layer mask with like a 1 pixel blur and get just a little bit of softening to make those edges a little more believable. And that really does a nice job. Now, that worked just fine, but you're saying, I don't shoot my pictures at night. It's okay. It works in the daytime too. Let's simply switch over to a daytime photo of a similar tree here, and we'll do the exact same thing. We'll go to the channels palette and we'll look. In this case, the blue channel seems to have the greatest contrast due to the amount of blue in the sky. I'll go ahead and right-click and say Duplicate Channel, and we'll call it Selection. And we'll make a levels adjustment. Let's select that channel and turn these off. Command or Control L for levels. Push the black, pull the white. And what we get is a nice high contrast image there. There we go. That looks really good. I'll press OK. I'm actually going to invert that by pressing Command I, so it's easier to see the fronds here. And you'll notice we have some gray there inside. So I'll press Command L for levels and play with that middle slider and notice how that impacts how those look. If we need to, we could push that a little bit more into white, and that really gives you fine control. Look at how elaborate of a selection is being made. Command or Control click its thumbnail to load it. Turn on the RGB channels and turn that off. Switch over to layers. Double-click to make it a layer, and add the layer mask. And you see that it did indeed cut that out. To make this easier to see, we'll just toss a solid color back there, and let's go with a bright red. We'll put that behind. And notice that there is no blue fringe on these leaves, that they are indeed cut out from that blue sky background. So, if you understand how to spot a difference between brightness values in your channels, you can easily use one of those channels to create a selection. A slightly more advanced technique than this is called calculations, where you actually use the details of two channels to create that selection channel. and we've done podcasts on that in the past. Feel free to visit our website, rastervector.com, where you can find that back episode and over 100 more. For Understanding Adobe Photoshop, I'm Rich Harrington.